Okay, hey guys, this is for Wasteland Conquest. If you have never done it before or you just suck at it, hopefully this helps a little bit. First thing I would suggest doing, and hopefully you've already been doing, is building troops for the event. You do get points for kills and casualties, and the higher the tier of troop, the more points you get when they die. This event does use the state hospital, so healing requires speed ups only and no resources, which is cool because that means your hospital is unlimited size. It also means you need a lot of fucking speed ups. So they do sell them in the store for a pretty decent price, but obviously the less you have to buy, the better. The tickets are available in the diamond shop. When you open your bag, it's the top right section. And they vary on price depending on which event you're actually buying into. The first event is definitely the cheapest. The second event, obviously, middle of the road. And then the last event is the most expensive. I don't necessarily advise going to the last event unless you are a candidate for winning, which is probably not very many of us. But that's up to you. When the event time starts, is very dependent on the vote, and the vote's done by the top 10 might from each state. So if you are one of those people, you should have an option to vote. You can find all this information in the little globe on the bottom right corner in your sanctuary. You can also find out your battle division and what states you're going to be against for the first couple events. When the event starts, it's going to be, you have 30 minutes to stage, so you're literally going to sit there for 30 minutes and do absolutely nothing. But the problem is that if you don't get there the first 2 seconds that the event opens, you're going to find a really shitty parking spot. So unless you're one of the handful of people that are strong enough to sit on the mud without a shield, I suggest making sure that you're there at the start. The most important thing in regards to that is that the rally starters are closer than the rest of you guys. And obviously it's helpful to have everyone be as close to the rally starters as possible. But realistically, that's not going to happen because people cannot figure out how to park. They are absolutely ridiculously horrible. And it's kind of frustrating. When you do land, there is different sections of the map. And I'll show you kind of a picture here in a second. Do not park on the mud, not even a tiny little bit. You will definitely die. And you will die faster than you will be able to move. I almost guarantee it. Also, don't hit people who are parked on the mud unless you're strong enough to do that and not die a lot. Because what happens is any deaths from attacking people are permanent deaths. And this event, even though they have the state hospital set up, that doesn't cover you on the permanent side. So you will just be dead. And you'll be wondering where the hell all your troops went. When the event starts, it's a lot like Wasteland King, where you're sending marches at either the towers or the hub. Chances are you're not going to get in the hub unless you know you're going to get in the hub. You're not going to get in the hub. So if you're questioning that, don't bother. The best advice I can give in this regard is don't overthink it. Have the strongest people in your state open rallies. Hopefully you guys have kind of communicated a little bit and not everyone is completely clueless. That'll help. But basically they'll open rallies. People will join them. Ideally, you would want the strongest people to be in the rallies and then have people ready to send reinforcements immediately. My suggestion in that regard is to pay attention to the march times and actually time when you send your march so that when the rally is hitting whatever tower you're attacking, your reinforcements are already like on the way. That'll save you a lot of speed ups, and you'll end up a lot better off because chances are by the time you need reinforcements, they've already been hit with like 50 plus marches, and they're almost dead. So unless you're planning on wasting a whole bunch of diamonds or speed marches, the best bet is to already have your stuff on the way. If you have multiple accounts, you can do that fairly easy. Even if you don't have multiple accounts, you just kind of get the hang of it. But I know some people are a little slower than others when it comes to switching. You are definitely going to have people out there who insist that you have to send a certain type of troop for your reinforcements. And I'm going to tell you right now, I have not seen that to be the case. Obviously, if your captain is very one-sided, meaning they've only got one troop type and the other ones just flat out suck, then sure, I guess I could justify that. But realistically, if I see a tower full of riders, I'm going to send shooters. If I see fighters, I'm going to send riders, etc. If I see a mixed tower, I probably am going to choose not to hit it if possible. They're a lot harder to kill. You have quite a bit of boost percentage that you can swing in either direction and still be stronger by using the weak type. So that's up to you, but like I said, don't overthink it. If you think too much on this, you're going to be just really stressed out. The other thing, for the love of God, ask your questions before, if possible, because you'll see what I mean. But what's going to happen is you're going to go and half the people there are going to have no fucking clue what they're doing. And even the ones that have been there before are still going to play dumb. And you'll have a bunch of people that'll just leave. And that's fine. I mean, I'd rather you leave than annoy me all day. But at the same time, just sit there and be patient. And I promise you, if you sit there for a little while, you'll figure it out really fast. It's not rocket science. It's super self-explanatory. And you have like 2.5 hours to do the event. So the beginning of the event, obviously everyone wants to get in there and get all their points and whatever. The people who are actually trying to win, they'll have to be there right from the get-go. But for the rest of us, the later in the event, the more chance you are to actually get occupying points. And you'll see in a second when I show the charts that the occupying points are by far the most valuable. You're not going to get a lot of points from dying, unfortunately. This is really self-explanatory also. Nobody wants to sit around and wait for your slow ass to march from across the map. If you are parked way far away, either speed them up or just keep looking for a spot closer that you can move. Nobody's going to know for sure if they're able to win the tower. I mean, there's probably like 3 people in the whole game that can pretty much guarantee that they will, but if you're going against them, you're probably attacking the wrong tower anyways. So the reality is people are kind of all doing their own thing and it gets really chaotic. So just have patience. And the tower captains, if they're smart, they will be kicking out people who get really low on numbers so that you can get full marches in there. But one thing that I do notice a lot is that people will start kicking people out way too soon. So if you don't have reinforcements that are already on their way to fill these spots and you've still got room for 2 million troops, don't kick people out. That's just stupid. Now you're going from having 100,000 troops to having none, and nobody's on their way. So it's it kind of takes practice, but yeah, don't be that person because that's annoying. Obviously, if you're using the strongest people, then you're probably going to be supered, which means that everyone's going to have the captain's boost. And the points are given for kills and casualties according to tier. So Interestingly, T8s are shown up on the chart, but they're only available for earning points, so they actually aren't allowed to join unless they're a 26 already. So keep that in mind. If you are one of those people that thought that you were going to be able to do it, I hate to break your heart, but you're probably not unless things changed. All troops will return at the end of the event except for 10% of whatever's still in the hospital. So if you have 100,000 troops in the hospital, you're going to lose 10,000 of them permanently at the end of the event unless you heal those. Again, it does give you a system warning for the last 10 minutes, but I don't know, maybe I'm just not paying attention ever, but I never seem to see it. So I usually set an alarm on my phone or something, and that tends to be the most helpful. Because it's a state hospital, your first aid talent and instant heal, they're not going to help you. The first aid would help you, I guess, if you're attacking people on the mud, but again, that only helps you until your hospitals are full, and then everything works the way it always does. I do suggest waiting until the end of the event to spend your points. That way you can plan more effectively on what you're going to buy. Pay attention to your healing time. I would also look into buying the future event tickets with event coins. That'll save you quite a bit of diamonds. Your store items in the store for this event, they don't replenish at the end of the event. So you won't be able to buy back into Renowned Ruler and still be able to like refill the store. So if you happen to be one of those people that maxes out everything you can possibly buy on the first event, don't even bother going to the second one. The first time you run through this is going to be like really eye-opening for some of you who have never done it. It's pretty much, since it started, which I think we're at, what, 5 or 6 of these now, it hasn't changed much. I think the only thing that changed is now you don't automatically die permanently, which was a really good addition. Probably one of the only good additions in this game. But it's up to you how you play it. I personally can't save for shit, so I always just plan on whatever I'm sending is gonna die. I do buy some speed ups while I'm there, but I tend to use them on better things than healing my troops. But that's just me. I'm kind of used to being dead, so it's not really that significant. Some people save them all year long, and I don't know what the fuck they do with all those speed ups at the end of this, because there's no way they use them. But like I said, to each their own. So this is what the start of the event map is basically going to look like. It is for sure not to scale. But so you've got the mud, the normal mud, you know, that goes around the zenith. Don't park on that. Don't touch that. You will die. Then you've got the grass area around the mud. And about 10 houses out, there's a blue wall that's, well, it's really annoying, and I don't know why it's there, for one thing. But basically, if you're parked inside that wall, you will be able to start the rallies. So make sure that if you are planning on being the rally initiator, that you're parked inside the wall. If you're joining rallies, it doesn't matter. You can be outside of it. Obviously, the closer you are to the rally initiators, the better. But don't be that person that's got front row parking and then makes the rally starter like park way the fuck back in the back of the map, because that's just stupid. Also, when the event starts, it's going to show you the map, but you're not going to be able to, like, I could share coordinates and people click on them to land there. They're not going to be able to click on those coordinates until they're already landed on the map. So what I suggest doing is as soon as the event starts, click somewhere, even if it's in the farthest corner. And that way, when somebody finds a spot and they share coordinates, you're actually able to click on them. And this is probably one of the biggest things that I see people doing because they get frustrated because they can't click on them. And that's because you're in a completely different world. And this event, it transports you to Fantasyland. And in Fantasyland, you can't just magically teleport there. You have to be there first, and then you can go to wherever. So keep that in mind. Also, this is the exploit store from last time, I think. I hope. I don't know. It's been a long time since I said I was going to make this video, and I did like 3 times, but I can't stop talking shit. So, long story short, that video is just gone, and yeah. So here's the store. You can see how much stuff costs. It's probably not going to give you a whole lot of reference until we go to this spot here. This is how you get the exploit. So if you look, it has for casualties, and then it has for kills. And then these are the like different tasks, things that you have. There's for dying, there's for killing, and then there's for occupying. And I didn't have a screenshot of what the actual time was on these, but I'll tell you right now that occupying, you get major points for that versus dying. If you look at the difference on what it requires, you can pretty much plan on killing millions. That's about it. Again, remember, timing is important. No one's here to babysit you. No one wants to babysit you. And there's plenty of time, so just sit back and watch if you have to, and you'll figure it out. Watch your hospital. Don't overdo it. There's smart sacrifices and dumb sacrifices, and we have more than enough dumb people in this world, so don't add to them. Mistakes are gonna happen, I guarantee it. Try to be patient. Smoke a bowl or something before you start. I don't know, whatever works for you. It's not the worst time to have a beer, although it is like 5 in the morning, so... Well, it's usually 5 in the morning. Maybe you'll be lucky and it won't be for you guys, but I am never that lucky. So, 5 in the morning, if drinking a beer sounds like a good idea, drink a fucking beer and just chill. And I think that's it. If there's anything I missed or anything significant that should be added, just let me know. Thanks.